Hello, hello. I'm trying something different and I'm using a mic. Please let me know if you can hear me. If you cannot hear me, please let me know in the chat. Otherwise, I will keep on using the mic. Hello, good evening. Can you hear me? This is my first time using this mic. So if you can hear me, please drop a heart in the chat or a star or something. Please let me know if you can hear me. Hi, Kunle. Kunle, hello. My Nigerian brother, thank you for joining me on my live. How are you? Hi, Kevin. A lot of men here today. That's nice. Is this a resolution for 2020? Lovely. Lovely, lovely, lovely. Good evening, everyone. Good evening. I will be playing some music to celebrate the new year live, but YouTube has the tightest copyright regulation, and I really do not like when I'm talking to you and I have to go back and remove sound. I believe it spoils the quality of the live. So, yeah. Hi, Electra. Happy New Year. For those of you that have attended my lives before, I am using a mic now. These are one of the innovations and the improvements I'm bringing into the new year. If you can hear me, please let me know. I know Kule and Kevin very kindly said yes. Electra, if you have any difficulty hearing me, please let me know because you've been coming to my other live, so you can let me know if the sound is better or worse with the mic. I'm hoping the sound is better because it's going to force. Sorry, it's going to force me to talk a bit more quietly. Oh, I sound way better. Oh, thank you, Electra. Like I said, we're doing things a bit very differently this year. This year is about growth, improvement, and I want this channel to be more professional. Last year, this channel came together out of a manic sense of responsibility to, react to nonsense. But now that I think we've settled into each other, into the game, I just wanted to do things a bit better. So thank you for the feedback, Electra. Those of you in the UK, how are you coping with the cold? I woke up this morning, my back garden is ice everywhere. I think it snowed at some point. Bloody hell. I'm very sure it snowed at some point because there's like this dusting of snow. I don't know if. Hi, Libby. I don't know if this snow. I don't know if this. Look, snow never hits London. Snow never hits London. So it's very interesting. Guys, please, if you want to support the channel as we go into the new year, please don't forget to drop a like, subscribe, share if you can, a super chat. No amount is too small. Everything you donate is going towards improving equipment and improving the quality of the live. And this year, I'm going to give, towards the end, I'll talk about some of the things I'd like to do this year to give back and support causes that are very personal to the Sussex family and to myself, actually, and to the squad. So I'll talk about that towards the end of the live. But for now, just catching up on everyone. I hope you had a good new year. Please let me know in the chat if there's anything. Oh, congratulations, Libby. Congratulations. Very happy for you. Everybody, please send a heart emoji to Libby. That's fantastic news. That is a fantastic way to start the new year, I think. Wishing her real recovery and better health. And fingers crossed this never comes back. Cancer is a terrible thing. I can't even imagine living with it. I can't imagine family members living with it. So shout out to your sister, Libby. And yeah, so this is a New Year's live, y'all. Our first live of the new year. Yay! A lot to talk about today. I mean, to be fair, this is just day 2 of the New Year's, but there is a doozy. There is a doozy. So let me start off with something that was very funny. I just, guys, for those of you who know, And for those of you that are new to my channel, oh, sorry, I jumped ahead. Let me introduce myself. My name is N for Neka. This is my channel specifically focused on Duchess Meghan and Prince Harry. And what we do here is we talk about the ongoing, ridiculous, and in my opinion, criminal onslaught of fake news, bots, and the British media's all-out attack and harassment of Harry and Meghan. What we're trying to do here, we are a community of squaddies, Sussex Squad, people from all over the world, who just want to we feel, I think Reverend Al Sharpton said it perfectly. Many of us in different ways can see ourselves in Meghan, especially being a woman of color, being somebody entering into a system that was not designed for people like her. And a lot of people have said things like, oh, Meghan is not I'm a visibly black woman, I'm a visibly African woman. They will say things like, Meghan is very light-skinned, why are you going so hard? And I'm like, that's the point though. The fact that if people didn't know Meghan had a black mom, she could have been a Latina. She could have even been Italian. There are European women that look like, that are as dark as Meghan, or even as light as Meghan. But the fact that the British media found out that she wasn't from my British white upper class, and this has emboldened them to speak down on her, to do everything in their power, to go above and beyond, to try and destroy her, it touches a lot of people very personally. It touches me personally. It touches Joyce, Electra, Libby, anybody who is supporting Meghan quite personally, because because it's insane. It goes to show that a lot of the things that we heard as young people and even as adults about systems that are put in place to suppress people of color from succeeding, from being happy when they encroach on quote unquote white spaces are true. Nobody can categorically say what Meghan Sussex has done to deserve 1/5 of the onslaught that she gets. To me, her biggest crime was coming into a bad situation, doing her best, being destroyed in the media for being here, being used as a punching bag and a scapegoat for mediocre family members. And when her husband got tired of the onslaught, I was worried for the safety of his wife and his child and removed them from that bad situation. The British media and the British royal family have gone out of their way to torment all of them. But the thing that I want to be clear for those of you that are coming to this channel, Meghan is not a victim. A bad thing, a terrible thing was done to her, but not only has she been able to remove herself from that bad situation, she has come out and she's kind of, in my opinion, taught many of us a lesson on how to thrive when you are being attacked from all sides, when people are going out of their way to ensure that they tank you or they discredit you or they villainize you. She's shown what it is to have a certain amount of, in my opinion, supernatural restraint, tolerance, and resilience. And even if you despise Meghan, I believe, especially if you are a woman, you could learn from her about resilience, self-respect, setting boundaries, and removing yourself from any situation that goes out of its way to destroy you. I guess that's the best way to say it. And I think that's a lovely segue into the new year. One of my new year resolutions is to continue to see the value in myself as a woman, as a Nigerian, as a person. And that's literally what, in this world today, regardless of who you are, because this channel is not just for black people, it's for everyone. Regardless of who you are, the lessons we can learn from Meghan is self-respect, self-value. I think Meghan uses a popular quote that I like. She says, I have reconciled who I am paraphrasing. I have reconciled who I am within myself. Flattery, criticism fall on the same path. I am secure. I love it. What that means is I don't have to perform for you. I know who I am. I know myself. I don't owe you anything else than my authenticity. And if my authenticity is not good enough, I will leave the situation for you and go be authentic elsewhere. For those of people, a lot of derangers like to gaslight Meghan and the Squaddies and say, oh, well, Meghan should have stayed and allowed people to be insulting her daily. Well, she should have stayed. And I'm like, again, that's the gaslight. Because none of these people would have stayed in a similarly bad situation like that. They would have left. So why would you expect Meghan to stay in that type of thing? So yeah. Sorry guys, I mistakenly pressed, oh gosh. I mistakenly pressed start Q&A. So now you have a very funny question on this. So please see if you want to respond as a way to kind of break the ice and break the chat. I'll change it to a real question at some point. But yeah, like I said, welcome. I think I spent 10 minutes and almost 6 minutes talking about the intro of my channel. And to thank everybody for being here. Hi, Vendetta, Happy New Year. So yeah, let's get into our topics. Today has been, you know what? Let's get into it. So, do you remember that Kate Middleton had her Christmas special? Now, let me be very clear. I'm not a deranger and I'm not a bully. This is not about bullying Kate. Unfortunately, because the British media continue to use the current so-called working royal family as a kind of foil against Harry. Let me be very clear. This is a one-sided event. Harry and Meghan did not ask for this. I don't even think the Waleses asked for this. But because this is what they have told themselves, they have so trapped themselves into this for there to be, they've trapped themselves in this ridiculous soap opera. They have completely trapped themselves in this soap opera of one side needs to compete against the other or pit one side against the other, because the British press need that fake soap opera to sell papers and to keep themselves fed. It has nothing to do with helping the royal family. It has nothing even to do with helping the Waleses. They just need the drama. They need the drama because the drama generates clicks. And if you're clicking, they are making money. They have a reason to justify their salary. Again, another ridiculous fallout of this British royal family. But yeah, the reason I bring that up is when I was talking about Kate and her Christmas special that flopped spectacularly, this is one of the problems. Am I saying that Kate Middleton and Prince William or whatever would have had a successful carol service without this ongoing drama? I have no idea. And that is the annoying thing about this, guys. We will never truly know whether I think we can guess, but we will never actually really know whether William and Kate could have organically fostered any type of public interest without the interference and the, in my opinion, devil's deal with the British press. It's a stupid cycle that was started in the 50s, I think 40s, 50s, and 60s, when their grandfather, Prince Philip, went on a tour, a global tour, and was screwing everything while he was doing it, and was reporting back to his friends back home. A lot of information was being either intentionally or not intentionally shared with the press. In fact, it got to a point where they had to make it kind of like deal with the devil with the press that, okay, do not publish humiliating facts about us and we will do this or we will do that. That deal was further exacerbated with Charles and Diana and their unfortunate marriage drama with Camilla. Is just a mess. Charles, in my opinion, is the person that I blame for everything currently going on in the British media today. I believe that Charles should have done everything in his power to protect his family, and he didn't, because he was more concerned about protecting his mistress. He was more concerned about protecting his mistress. He threw his children to the wolves. Harry got the beating from the press, and William didn't get. Look, William suffered his own neglect. If I'm honest with you, by not raising William to be responsible, to have empathy, to carry his privilege as a burden and not an entitlement. I'm very sorry to say, Charles, in my opinion, sabotaged his own child. Why did you think lording over people was going to be a thing that would work in the 21st century? Charles should have known better. Instead, he insulated the air, allowed the spear to be beaten to death by the press, and terrorized by the press. I would say what happened to Prince Harry is no different than CSA, the abuse of a child. It's almost as severe as that, I think, because his father intentionally used his son for cover. Harry talks about it in his book. He talks about the emotional and mental toll that took. I'm not here, and this is the thing I will never forgive the royal family for, making me have empathy for a rich white prince. Because regardless of your socio-economic situation, everybody can relate to the neglect and abuse of a child. Harry was abused terribly, consistently, repeatedly. And nobody who could have stopped it. And I want people to always remember that when they say things like Harry is going to come back into the royal fold, this is like saying a child that was abused in a home will go back there. When you escape that type of trauma, you never want to go back. And frankly, I don't blame him. I think, and he said it before, that the titles and everything he reserves for his children, but you might as well jump over Harry, because Harry is not going back into that dysfunction. If his children decide they want to get involved with the royal family, that is for them now. Leave Harry out of it. Nobody told the British press to terrorize that child into a grown man and try to ruin his life. And they are still trying to ruin his life by hurting his wife. Very soon, they will move that attention to his children. I'm not trying to be evil. I'm just being honest. Let's keep it 500%. They've already told us their playbook. Because why are they talking about Prince George? Why are they talking about Prince George? Charlotte? They've already started shifting the narrative to the kids. And Harry and Meghan will do their best to protect their children's privacy, but it's only a matter of time. And I think this is why the squad is needed more than ever. The way we push back against the things they say against Harry and Meghan, we need to mobilize and push back to the oncoming storm they will bring against the children. And it's something that I believe we're going to start seeing from this year. Because Harry and Meghan have started involving their children in their philanthropy. Let me be very clear, because I want to be very, very clear about this. Harry and Meghan have not done anything to put their children in harm's way. And I don't think they ever will. They're not stupid. Harry especially has been through this cycle. But whether they like it or not, they are still very hyper visible. Against their will, by the way. They didn't ask for the British press to fixate on them in an almost manic, to an almost manic degree. Nobody asked for that. They literally left and removed themselves from the family to protect their privacy. And the British media, through bots, through YouTube, through Twitch, have refused to leave them alone. The Meghan and Harry hate SEO is too profitable for people to stop. So in my mind, there's no point trying to speak about something that will never happen. They will never leave them alone. So, as squad members, it is our job to continue to do what we do now: protect, call out nonsense, correct. I mention all this because when I talk about Kate, because I'm about to talk about Kate, I want you to understand why I'm talking about Kate. I didn't set this precedent, the press did. And my job is to correct narratives. So let's talk about Kate very quickly and her flop of a show. What was it called? Together with Christmas or some nonsense like that. So again, this is why I get very frustrated with the royal family. On paper, having a carol service, it's not a bad thing. It's actually expected. It's Christmas. And the carol service is supposed to help some sort of charity. The Royal Foundation, although I am not particularly yet clear, and this is the thing I will always dislike about the Royal Foundation and the British press. You're saying that they do all these things for charities. Why do you never highlight the charities? I can sit down and talk to you about what Harry and Meghan are doing with Archewell, but I can never seem to understand or even find out any information quickly about what the Royal Foundation is doing. Now, they told us that Kate had her carol service as a way to help. Now, let's be clear, I can Google this stuff. But why do I have to dig in for that information? Why is it not the banner? Christmas together to support charity ABCD. Why do they never talk about the charities? Instead, they focus on Kate. This year, they said they were going to invite Hollywood stars. And I was like, what has this got to do with this so-called charitable event? But stay with me on this. They said they were going to invite Hollywood stars. They also said that they also did some sort of weird promo for Princess Charlotte, literally 24 hours before the show, which again was quite coincidental because Harry and Meghan had released that they were turning Archewell Foundation into Archewell Philanthropies, and they featured Archie and Lily on the banner. So it's very fascinating, or not really surprising, that Kate and William panicked and ran out to go and use their children for charity PR. Although I couldn't tell you what the charities are. Anyway, Kate's show flopped. Quite badly, actually. I didn't think he was going to do that badly. I think he did better last year. Kate's show was aired on Christmas Eve and Christmas Day. Let me show you how bad this show flopped. So Christmas Day, right? People have nothing to do. They're at home with their family or friends, eating, sleeping, just chilling in their house. What does that mean? Most people are not out, or they really shouldn't be out, because a lot of transportation services are not available, especially if you're outside the city, and places that you would normally go to if you live in small towns will most likely be closed. Most commercial places will be closed between 8 a.m. and 5 p.m. So whether you like it or not, whether you love your parents or you love your friends or not, your ass is staying home between that time. You have nothing to do. You have nowhere to go. How is it possible on a day and a time frame where many commercial ventures are maybe not open, people don't have anything to do, they have nowhere to go? How is it possible for Kate to still flop a Christmas show? How? The event took place on the December 6th, Electra, but I don't think it was streamed until Christmas Day or the day before Christmas. And yet, Kate Middleton's show flopped. That show, and this is how you know it flopped. ITV, they filmed it on the BBC. Ideally, it is always shown on the BBC. This year, I believe they showed it on the BBC and ITV. People had to dig around to find what the ratings were. When the official, and the ratings were found through, they had to dig around. And what we found was that it came number 42. Not even top 10. Let me even forgive her and say not even top 20. Number 42 in terms of ratings. She couldn't crack top 10. This is supposed to be the most popular royal in the country. If you believe the polls that the Rota keeps on releasing, which we all know is nonsense, Kate Middleton is the most liked figure at least in the UK anyway. Sometimes they drag the American polls into it. Kate Middleton is the most liked character in America. What? And she couldn't get a broadcast into at least, let me give this to you, at least top 20. At least. I'm saying that she did better last year, I think. I can't remember. I'll check. I think she was like maybe number 30. This year was number 42. According to the information, and let me be very clear, this comes from AI. I don't believe this number, by the way. They said she had 3 million people. I don't believe that number. Nope. Sorry, 2.3, 2 point something million. I don't believe that number. I don't. How can you be number 42 in a country with 60 million people and you got 2.3 million live views? I find that hard to believe. I believe that they're exaggerating that number, or they're adding things to that number that doesn't make sense, or maybe they combined both BBC and ITV viewership together. Actually, that's actually more plausible. I believe that's what they did. That's a disgrace. And on my other channel, I'm going to deep dive into how bot technology and AI is inflating and being used to inflate or even deflate popularity. How farming bots is being used to spread false narratives online. The problem, though, is bots cannot show up to live events. Bots don't have TV. Because if I went by the bots that are screaming on the internet across all social media platforms, Kate should have had at least 20 million people watching that show. She could barely crack 3. What am I saying? She couldn't even crack 3 million. And I don't believe those numbers are correct. I believe they combined the viewership from BBC and ITV and slammed it together. This is a disgrace. This is an effing disgrace. And it's direct contradiction to the narrative that Kate is popular. Why is this important? Because we are starting a new year. And this year, I'm going to be a bit more vicious. When I mean vicious, I'm going to call out everything. I'm not going to come after anybody, but I'll call out the nonsense, right? I think that we've been too nice, in my personal opinion. I've been too nice, maybe. If you're going to tear Meghan apart for doing something that is almost impossible, then let's start holding Kate to the same standards. She is going to be the future queen of the UK and the Commonwealth. I know. And on a day where people don't have anything to do, your show could not even crack top 20. But Meghan had her Christmas show that got to top 10 in many countries, including the UK. and the royal and the Rangers and the Royal Rota were screaming to everybody who could hear that it was a flop, intentionally diminishing Meghan's achievements and overhyping Kate, and then all of a sudden going quiet when Kate does not succeed. And I believe as a consequence of that Christmas flop, actually, they released an article today that was just, I am embarrassed for everybody involved. Everybody involved. A toadying demonstration of shamelessness and desperation with the Times on Sunday when they were talking about Kate and more or less calling her, Mary. They exalted her just as high as Mother Teresa, Beyonce, if you will. And they used pictures of Kate intentionally hiding her eating disorder. Sorry, guys, I'm getting some libations. I'm thirsty. It's freezing in the UK, but I have my smoothie. Sorry about that. We call out these things because these are narratives. And these are narratives, if they are not challenged, they will go in history. If you're going to tear Meghan apart, then you keep that same smoke for Kate when she keeps failing. I call Kate the queen of flops. That's probably the only thing that she does consistently. The queen of flops. So yes, that was a flop, a huge one. And the reaction was the Times on Sunday article where they messed up. It was just utterly funning nonsense. They didn't reveal anything new because I read it. They didn't reveal anything new. They didn't even give us anything exciting to look forward to for Kate this year. Just funning nonsense. Utter and complete funning nonsense. I was going to talk about the fashion stuff as well. Kate Middleton apparently is the only person keeping the billion pound fashion industry afloat. Again, they say these things not for us because we know that's utter and complete nonsense. They say it personally. Do you know what I think, guys? I think they say it for the Americans. Because they know that William doesn't care about the British. William wants popularity with the Americans, as does his wife. Because anybody with a brain to rub together that lives in this UK knows that Kate Middleton is a non-entity when it comes to British fashion. Nobody looks at British fashion and says, "Oh my God, Kate." Not even Vogue. We have British Vogue, which to me is the best Vogue. British Vogue doesn't even consider Kate to be the savior of fashion. So all that is just nonsense from the rooter. Every fashion item she wears flops because nobody wants to dress like that. She's not even like Meghan, who I forget the words Meghan used, but basically saying that she combines her fashion, high fashion, low. So basically, she's saying that sometimes she wears $1,000 clothes, or she can wear something from maybe low end as well. Sorry, Americans, I don't know what you call low end, but here in the UK, like Primark or middle level, maybe Zara. High level, maybe Gucci, Prada. We know Meghan favors a lot of Dior, which she always looks fabulous in. And when she wears design, I think it's a Lola Piano. I'll get the name. I'm not a fashion girl, as you can tell. So yeah. Just wanted to let you know that Kate ended the year a flop, and I don't see anything that Kate is going to do this year that's going to change that in any way. So yeah, and I'm only bringing her up because again they use Kate as a they. You know, when Kate is not even a good, that's why the Kate comparison is so disrespectful. Kate is not anywhere near Megan's level. If you're going to compare anybody to Megan, I think there's a European princess. Ah, God, I've forgotten her name. There's a European princess that I think is a better comparison to Megan. I'm not saying that she's on her level either, but Kate is such a non-entity. It's like comparing Megan to Zara Phillips. You know, Kate is nowhere near Megan's level on anything, intellect, beauty, style, nothing. And the British media, let me tell you what I think. This is what I predict for Kate in 2026. I believe that, did you guys see? Sorry, this takes me to the next nonsense they announced for the Wales. So apparently the Wales have told everybody that this year, once a month, they are going to highlight something quintessentially English or something like that. So basically, one of their engagements per month is going to be related to something English. I'll get the exact comment, which comes back to my point. What were they doing before? These charities are supposed to be British charities, yes? So why would they say it like that? What were they doing before? It's just when they just make announcements for the sake of making announcements. What were you doing before that you are saying that the things you're going to be doing going forward is going to highlight British causes? That is literally your job. And of course, do you know why they are saying it, ladies and gentlemen? Because Harry and Meghan have announced actual philanthropies. Because they know they don't know everything Harry and Meghan is going to do, of course. But they know it's something and they know it's coming. So they are already setting the competition right at the very front. Again, a one-sided competition. Because you can't compete when you can't, where you don't compare. Thank you, Tulip. That's exactly who I was thinking of. Thank you. I'm trying to remember her name. I was thinking it was Princess Sophia, but I'll be honest with you. I'll be very honest with you. I don't pay attention to anything that happens in Europe, so I have no idea who these people are. But that lady, that Lenore from Spain, yeah, that's her. But I'll give it to the European princesses. The European princesses, in my opinion, have followed Meghan. They are paying attention to how the world is reacting to Meghan. Because these women are accomplished, they are working, they are part of it. You see them actually working with their country's military, business. They are involved. They are not just clothes hangers. They are educated. They are doing more work even than William. These women. And I believe that they are getting this inspiration from Meghan and how the world reacts to Meghan. Because people will root for you when they can relate to you. People relate to a working woman. People admire a working woman. Let's look at who our heroes are. Whether you are a Beyonce fan or you're a Taylor Swift fan, what is the one thing these two women have in common? They work. They are the faces of their own empire. Megan Thee Stallion, Dua Lipa, whatever your where your tastes lie. And if you're not really a fan of celebrities, maybe you like the icons, the AI people, the engineers, people that have built businesses. The average woman today that is placed on a pedestal works. She is not kept. The Kim Kardashians. That is who we relate to. Whatever your feelings about them, the one thing, like I said, is they work. They've built their empire. They are still beautiful. They still are very fashionable. Then you compare women like that to Kate, the future queen of one of the most powerful monarchs in the world. Kate, who never worked a day in her life, can barely speak in public. I personally don't think that woman can read, but that's neither here nor there. And is literally starving herself. This is who you want us to look up to when we have Beyonce, Taylor Swift, Kim Kardashian. Obama, Michelle Obama, Alicia Keys, Eve. The average woman doesn't understand Kate, and that's why Kate flops. That's why nobody's watching her. And it doesn't matter how many articles you write about her, how many times she brings out her children and flaunts them in front of her. She is not relatable. All the things they accuse Meghan of being is for Kate. I can't relate to being a woman that has never worked one day in my life and stays home, whose idea of hard work is wearing over-tailored suits, who doesn't eat, who is literally starving herself, who honestly I don't think we see, because every time we see her, people are commenting about her weight. I believe the reason we don't see Kate is not even so much that she's lazy, is because they are intentionally hiding her. Because the more we see of Kate Middleton and her increasing underweight and weight loss, people are going to, the press, in my opinion, are probably trying, I believe they know what's going on with Kate. I said it before, I believe they are sitting on it, because the press does not look, the press is not for anyone. The press is for themselves. I believe they are sitting on that information and they are waiting to unleash it. And I also believe that's part of the reason why we don't see Kate. Yep. 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 Anyway, enough of that. Let's talk about Meghan and Harry. So Meghan released, because you know she's a working woman, through her brand released a New Year's greeting, which I thought was quite cute. I love how it was very focused around the brand. And for those of you that are interested in buying Azeva, if you go on the website, everything is still there. I think the raspberry sold out. I don't know if they're going to restock. I highly recommend you get that champagne. That champagne is the Brut. It's like dry champagne, so you'd have to mix it up with something. I think somebody in from the squad mentioned what you could do. The Brut is fantastic, by the way. I finished myself finished the 2 bottles in 3 days. I'm not proud of that. I was going to save it for Christmas, but well, I recommend it. I'm hoping, I don't know, am I being weird? I'm hoping in 2026 we get international shipping, guys. And that's what I'm waiting for, because I really want to buy the candles. I don't know if we will get the chocolates again. Anyway, but I guess what I'm trying to say is for 2026, and I said it before in my end of year live, I predict that we're going to get more products from Meghan. Do you guys have any idea of what it could be? I'm not sure what else she could be doing though, but we'll see. But I think her focus will probably be international. I have a feeling her focus will be international shipping. I have a feeling that right now they are building up supply chains so that they can ship internationally. As to whether she will produce more products, I'm not really sure. I hope so. But I think we will get some information in the first quarter of this year. Megan, the next place that I'm kind of excited to see Harry and Megan go to, because I hope they go, is Leticia. Yeah. Like I said, I don't pay. Look, I barely pay attention to Kate. It's only because of this New Year's thing, because I was tracking it. But you could be right, though. It wouldn't surprise me. It wouldn't surprise me. Kate's a moron. Okay, that's me. I'm sorry I said that. Kate doesn't have any achievements. I can see why accomplished women wouldn't like to be standing with her. Because you'd be like, here I am building this empire, and here is this woman whose biggest accomplishment was being the final option of a spoiled brat of a king, Prince William. No, thank you. But yeah, let me come back to Meghan. So Meghan and Harry could potentially be going to Sundance Festival this January. I will, of course, be sure to give you the tea if that happens. I hope it happens. It'll be nice to see them. They have a documentary that is going to be aired at Sundance about cookies. And I knowing Harry and Meghan, I think this is mainly going to be Meghan's thing because it's focused around Girl Scout cookies. If you've seen Meghan's pictures, you know that she was a Girl Scout. So I look forward to seeing to what extent she will be involved. If it's like the Masaka Kids documentary, it probably would just be, she might be doing narration, she might be doing narration, or she might actually be talking about her own experience. I actually really look forward to that documentary. I love it. I think it's a good way to promote something, that she personally was part of. Oh, look at my hair. That she was personally part of. And it might be a good way to get people to even, you never know. You might see a spike in people signing their daughters up for Girl Scouts. You never know. This is the thing I love about Harry and Meghan. It's not just for PR. Everything they do is actually intentional. And have you noticed that everything they do is something that could actually last? They don't just do one-off stuff. They do things that are sustainable. Yeah? Even if they want to pass it on to their kids as patronages, they can, or to others even. I love that about them. The intentionality. So I'm looking forward to that for January. What else? Oh, yes. I wasn't going to talk about this, but I'll touch it briefly. As you know, James Holt has stepped down from his role with Archwell. I personally don't see it as a problem. He gave them 5 years. He wants to move his family. His excuse was he wants to move his family back home. That makes sense. He's British. But why is it weird? His kids are probably grown enough, or maybe they want to come to secondary school in the UK. They want to be around family. And it's not like as if he's leaving Archwell. According to the statement, he will still be very much involved, but just in a different way. Why is this a problem? I need somebody to explain this to me. Why is somebody stepping down from a role, something that happens all the time, a problem when it comes to Harry and Meghan? At what point will the British media and the Rangers stop making a big deal out of nothing? And most importantly, how does this affect me? The scrutiny Harry and Meghan get continues to be worse than your prime minister. I don't even think gets this much scrutiny. There are people that are literally moving money in and out of this UK that do not get anywhere near the amount of scrutiny that two private citizens who no longer rely on taxpayer funds do. Yeah, I know. I saw that electoral. That's why I'm like, I don't understand why this was made into a deal. I don't even know why this was reported. Hi, Vanity. Hello. It's been a while I've seen you. Why was this reported? creating drama where there isn't, creating stories where there isn't. And then they'll be complaining that nobody wants to talk to them. At this point, I don't even blame William. Why would I talk to them? The hell? You can literally, William could say something like, lovely, the wall is red. They will run, I'm not joking, they will run to the British media and tell everybody that William insulted Harry by saying the wall is red. And the funny thing is, they don't even realize, I don't know if they realize or they realize and they just don't care. It might be a mixture of that and something else, or just pure the psychotic need for clickbait. You know, when people get that manic, it's a sign of desperation. It means that they are so determined to make money off these people, of drama, of nothing. They wasted at least a 48, I think it was about a 48-hour news cycle talking about typical staff attrition. And this is how you know that they're just doing clickbait. No context was provided. Harry and Meghan's spokesperson provided spokesperson related information about the leaving of staff. Don't let that get in the way of clickbait, of course. And this is something I don't even think they would have needed a spokesperson to comment on if the British media was not stalking people's LinkedIn. Because the way they found out about that stuff, I'm pretty sure they went to go and check somebody's LinkedIn. But the thing is, the more they do this stuff, what I'm loving about it though, is the more they do this stuff, the more people are beginning to speak up about it. Like recently, just before the year ended, and you guys would have seen it in my short, they said that Meghan was the most hated celebrity in the world. And I was like, and everybody was like, what are you talking about? You people have a literal pedophile that you're protecting in the royal family, but Meghan is the most hated person in the world? Are you people insane? Here's my answer. Yes. Yes, average person who has no idea what is going on. These people are not well. Of course, they are doing it intentionally, vanity. That's the point. The point is not to tell you the truth. The point is to push a lie. It's a lie. Exactly, Electra. But I think what happened, I mean, we all know that the Ranker poll is nonsense. But I think what it did is, again, the reaction to Meghan being the most hated celebrity, to me, the pushback, the global pushback to that nonsense, I would say is almost close to when Jeremy Clarkson called for sexual abuse against Meghan. It's almost the same, because even people who would never comment were like, what are you talking about? You know, they were like, what are you talking? People who would never comment, who know of Meghan, were like, nobody is thinking about her. What are you talking about? We don't know this woman. And this is what I'm saying. I love it. I love it because it's the organic pushback, the organic response to these ridiculous stories that tell you where the real people's minds are. It's not by releasing fake polls or getting bots to harass people. You want to know what people really think? Yeah, when you make those types of rage baity posts, the response from people tells you, especially outside our Sussex Deranger bubble, how the world perceives Meghan. I've said it before. Many people are either indifferent to her because she's just another celebrity, or some of them are kind of like a bit curious. Do I think the average Joe going about their day hates Meghan? No. I don't think, look, I think realistically, you could say the same thing about any celebrity. The average Joe outside the bubble of spaces on the internet don't care about most people. They care about their day to day survival, their family, their friends, their lives. They're not sitting down here thinking about Beyonce or Megan, any of the Megans. The internet is loud, but it's not a reflection of real life. Which is why Megan's approach of ignore the noise and get on with the work is exactly what one should do. The problem with the Wales is they need internet validation, and that's why they keep flopping. They're looking for clickbait, and that's why they keep flopping. Megan went to do a cooking show. It's organic because it makes sense. There's a show, it has a script, it has where it's going. It's also a means for her to advertise as Eva products. What do the Waleses go and do? They try and Hollywoodify a Christmas carol. No script, no plan. It's not organic. It's just a silly thing. It's just a thing in the calendar they do. And let's be very clear. Kate is not some sort of executive producer of this event. It's orchestrated by the palace, maybe, and Kate, they just push her in front of it. She's not involved in the planning. She's not involved in the execution. She's not involved in anything. Exactly, Electra. When you're trying to compete with somebody, and when you're competing from a place of jealousy because you're looking for clickbait, that's why the royal family keeps on making all the mistakes they make. Just ignore the press, ignore me, ignore all of us, and just do your thing. But they can't do that. Because like I said at the beginning, they have built this ecosystem where they need to feed the press. The press is like this angry, hungry wolf. If you don't give them enough, they'll turn on you. We've seen this in the previous year. We saw a lot of negative articles about the Waleses, talking about their work, talking about, some of them were coming out to say things like, oh, William and Kate, you can't just be hiding. You have to come out. And then as soon as they get calls from Kensington Palace, they'll walk it back. That is them testing the waters, because what they are trying to tell them is, if you and your wife do not find something to do, we're going to have to feed, right? And what do we feed? The machine turns within itself. We will feed on you. And they started doing it with that Forest Lodge move. Did you guys see recently? I think it came out yesterday that they said an intruder try to break into Forest Lodge or wherever it is they are living now. I rolled my eyes. This magical intruder appeared because the British people have been complaining quite bitterly about the fact that Kate and William moved into Forest Lodge. And following that move, because of who they are, they had to cordon a large portion of what used to be public land, which has come as a great inconvenience to the people who move around that area. So now they created an intruder to justify closing off that land. Because when I saw it, I rolled my eyes. That's why I didn't remember to bring it up, because I forgot about it until now. I was like, of course there's an intruder. Of course there is. People are complaining that you've stolen, you have overreached. And the first thing you do is to create an intruder from fresh air. Who was the intruder? Again, clickbait. If you check the article, it doesn't make any sense. Who was the intruder? Who arrested him? There should be some sort of police record, right? If an intruder tried to break in. Where's the police record? And this is why I really do think that this year is going to be very entertaining. I think we're going to see the Wales step up their desperation campaign to compete, to continue to do this one-sided competition with the Sussexes. I believe it's going to be one embarrassing desperation after another, which will keep me fed, and I'll feed it back to you. And yeah, I'm also looking forward to Harry and Meghan. I really believe one of them will attend Sundance. I could be wrong though. They might surprise us. I want to see. I have a feeling that Azeva will announce some new things, because I think Meghan tends to give us a little snippet of what's coming next sometimes. So I'm hoping we get that. I'm also hoping this year we get an announcement of With Love Meghan season 3. Maybe. I hope. I don't know. And I'm hoping, guys, and I'm really hoping that Meghan joins TikTok. Why, you ask? Because I'm on TikTok. I'm not on Instagram. So I'm hoping that one of my desperate TikToks, she will retweet it. Hopefully she will retweet one of the TikToks I have begging her for international shipping. Maybe. I hope so. I hope so. Well, yeah, the year just started, so we're a bit dry today, but I think we had enough to discuss. We've spoken about, and I do apologize for spending this much time on the Waleses, but the back-to-back shenanigans and nonsensery over the past 2, 3, 4 days, I had to report it, guys. I had to. James Holt, I hope we see him more. I have a feeling, do you know what I think, guys? I think we're going to see more of Harry in the UK as he preps for the Invictus with his fine self. Yes, Harry is looking good. I'm no longer ashamed to say something. For the first time in my life, I find a ginger man attractive. Congratulations, Harry. You've done the impossible. I believe that we will see him work more. And that's probably why James Holt coming to the UK probably works quite nicely with the Invictus. I believe that Harry will probably be leaning on James quite more in the UK as he sets up for Invictus in 2027. Invictus is next year, guys. Yep. So yes, I believe we're going to. I am going to say what I said last week. I believe we're going to see Meghan in the UK. Because I'm only saying that because all the Invictus, what you call it, pre-visits before the actual games, Harry has taken Meghan with him. I don't see any reason why she wouldn't, especially if they give them security. I don't see the kids coming though, but I can see Meghan coming with Harry. In a way, I kind of want her to come. Do you know why? Do you know why? Because it's going to be so delicious. Ooh, my petty bone is going to be thoroughly satisfied. Exactly, Electra. If they literally mob Meghan and Harry, something that Kate and William will not be able to relate to because it's never happened to them before. If they literally mob Meghan and Harry, especially Meghan in the UK, after the British media have been telling us for years that she's the least famous royal, I will die of laughter. Yeah, Electra, but she wasn't here for, you know why she was here. And honestly, I don't like watching that walkabout. I don't like seeing her bullied like that. I never actually watched it. I didn't like it. I didn't like it at all. I hated that setup. This time around, in my opinion, she'll be coming back like Valkyrie, a hero. Similar to when Harry came back, you know, when he came last year and everybody was losing their bloody mind. Like people were showing up at where he was during work hours. Do you know what it is for people to leave their offices? Like when Harry went, I can't remember where he went to, that the head of the WHO was with him. People came out to take pictures. Do you know what it is to leave your job during work hours because you want to go and take a picture of Harry? Now imagine if it's Meghan. All of you shouldn't laugh at me if you see me. If I happen to be, if she's in central London and I'm there at the same time, you best believe I will be there trying to get a picture. She takes a picture with me, I think I'll die. I will not stop talking about it, y'all. I will not. That will be my content for like months. Every week, I will remind you that I'll make it my background picture. The finger takes a picture with me. But yeah, jokes aside, yeah, she was scared the last time, wouldn't you be? Because don't forget, look, I say things like the internet is not real life. We know that, but like we're still human. We're still human. And she came back after that Oprah interview. I was discussing this with some friends over the weekend. They were like, well, how did you expect the royals to behave when she went to tell everybody's business? And I'm like, well, then they should have treated her better. Did they expect Meghan to keep quiet while they bullied her? And here's what I will say this. Even if Meghan and Harry hadn't said a word, they would have still done what they did during that walkabout. The aim was to scare her away. You don't belong here. It had, whether she did the Oprah interview or not, that was the aim of that walkabout. That's why I barely, the first time I saw it, I didn't want to watch it. I was like, I'm not watching this nonsense. The only part that I watched was when that young girl in the crowd hugged Meghan. I loved what she said. She was like, because the girl was like really emotional. She was like, she felt terrible for how Meghan was treated. And I was like, oh, that's what I'm saying. For that girl was what, a teenager? Maybe what, 15? For a young person to feel that way and to react that way, how do you think everybody else feels? Ignore the British public, the bubble, and yes, there will be some hateful, let's be honest, some hateful white women who will hate Meghan because they are jealous that she's achieved something that I don't know why these people thought they would marry. And this is something I don't understand. This psychosis, the psychotic audacity. Did you really think a prince was going to marry you people? Because I've seen some of the derangers. Can we please be for real? He wasn't going to marry you. This is for the derangers. I'm going to need you to figure out how to accept this information. Harry was never going to marry you. Just because he married a working class woman from America does not mean Cheryl from Leeds had a chance. I'm going to need you to accept this information and please move on with your life somehow. Go out, meet Barry at the pub, get married, and stop pissing yourself every time you see Meghan. Harry is not leaving his wife. Accept it. Cope. Jesus Christ. Anyway, yes, if I get that pic, yes, I'll say Scotty. I will definitely say Scotty. It will become my background picture. Every week, I'll go back and talk about it, that just to remind you all that I got a picture with Meghan. But yeah, jokes aside, I think if she comes to the UK, I think she'll be mobbed. Because to me, and to a lot of people, she will be like a hero returned. It's a classic Greek soap opera. You chased her out, she went away, became a millionaire on her way to billionaire status, and now she's back, back as a hero. And we haven't seen her publicly in years. So, yeah, I think she will get a hero's welcome. I think the British press will be bitching and complaining about that, because that's the point. They've told everybody that everybody hates Meghan, and they want you to believe they are nonsense. But it's hard to believe that when the average citizen is mobbing her. How can you say somebody hates someone that people are mobbing? Because everybody will be like, so you want me to not trust my eyes and to trust your words? Are you insane? Is the same thing they said when Harry came for the 10-year anniversary of Invictus. They genuinely thought Prince Harry was going to get booed. I was like, can we please be for real? And this is what I'm telling you. Trusting bots on the internet to gauge somebody's popularity or lack of popularity is insanity. Because even somebody people hate, I'm not joking, even somebody people hate, people nowadays want pictures. If I have a couple of people in my head, except for Kate, the royal family, because I would never. If I saw, which celebrity would I see that I don't like, that I'm actually get a picture with, because why not? There are very few that I wouldn't even, I'll be honest with you. I don't like you as long as you didn't say anything racist or dangerous. I seriously might just get your picture for the gram. I'm serious. People want pictures. People want to take pictures with celebrities. It's a thing to say, oh, I met this person. Here's a picture. So when people come online and say things like, oh, I hate this person, I hate this person, doesn't prove a damn thing, y'all. But I wish somebody, but the British media, for some reason, whenever they want to bash Meghan, they'll say things like, oh, the comment section. I'm like, please shut the F up. The comment section, really? That's what you're using? Isn't that what got Carol Malone almost sued? I still believe Doria should sue her. I'm personally praying that in 2026, Doria just says, F it. I'm going to go scorched earth. I hope she sues GB News. I have a feeling she may have. Is there any way you think we can find out if she did? I've ruined my straw. Sorry, I've ruined my straw. There goes my smoothie. But yeah. So, guys, I've come to the end of my commentary. I'm going to do something at the end. I'm going to raise a QA. I'm trying to change this Q. Oh my God. Drag here to end QA. Let me do another QA. So if anybody has any questions, if you can post a super chat, that would be really appreciated. If not, that's okay. We're going to have to, like, look, the whole thing with the Harry and Meghan, the royal family. I love how nowadays when we say royal family, we're literally just focusing on two people, Meghan and Harry. We throw in William and Kate to call out their hypocrisy. But really, we're not talking about these people. Don't care about them. You know? It's a mess. So yeah, guys, I've posted the Q&A. If you have any questions, like I said, please post a super chat for a response. And yeah, for now, while I'll wait for any questions, in the meantime, I'll talk about what's coming next. So for this year, we're going to do I'm going to do a number of things. I'm going to expand this a bit. I went on TikTok to see if it could help me grow my channel. I don't think it's doing anything, but I'll still stay on TikTok though. But I want us to have a place where we can talk to each other. So what I'm thinking of either using a streaming channel with Twitch or Stationhead. Either of these things, unfortunately, we might have. I think I would prefer Twitch because I don't think you have to pay for that. I think if you organically help me grow my channel on Twitch, I could get, payment that way. I don't want to use any platform that will require people to spend money more than necessary, which is why I'm trying to keep everything on YouTube. But I do appreciate super chats, so anything that you think you can give, please don't feel like you have to, but if you can, I will appreciate it, because I want to properly build up this channel. I want to build, I'm not just channel, guys, our community. I want to give us a place where we could sit down and have we can have chats and discussions. There was something about TikTok, but many of you are not using TikTok, so there's no point having a live there. But I'll do a poll. I'm going to do a poll. I'm going to put Twitch, Discord, TikTok, and you will let me know which one you prefer. But guys, I would need you to actually create accounts there so that we can talk there. There's no other way I can do it. right? And I'm trying my best to avoid taxing people, saying, oh, come and pay this amount of money. That's why I don't want to use any platforms that will do that. But if I go on Twitch so that we can talk to each other, or Station Head, I would need you to. That's literally what I want to do. So I'm going to put a poll in the post. You guys let me know what you think, and then we can experiment. I want to really, really expand the channel. What else is coming up? I'm going to try and get some more. I'm trying to do a kind of combined live session. So I'm trying to get more people. I want to do live with some existing squad members, again, as a bit to grow the channel and build up our community in the wider squad space, and to give everybody contributing in the comment section a chance, to hear from other creators as well. And I'm going to try and see if we can get I want to do something more for the community, supporting charity causes that the squad is already supporting with the Sussexes. Again, all of this is what I'm hoping to achieve in the first quarter of this year. A place we can all talk to each other, build the community. And I'm hoping by the end of 2026, I have at least 5,000 more subscribers. I have 5,000 subscribers. Maybe that's overly ambitious, but let's see. But yeah, the quality of the channel does not change. I've created a separate channel called N4 Recaps, where we will talk about, things going on, recaps. It is not Sussex related, it's tech related and other subject matter, so that it doesn't mess up what we have with this algorithm. Guys, please, I need your help to get to 1,000 subscribers. Please, I'm going to post it in the post. Please just subscribe. If you subscribe, I can quickly monetize the channel and set up lives, and we can talk about things that are not Sussex related. Oh, sorry. We can talk about things that are not Sussex related. And yeah, I'll put it on the post to please support the live channel. As you can see, I am using a mic now. I got feedback from a lecturer and co that this was better. Thank you. I should have started using it before, but we learn our lessons and we do better. So I'll be using the mic now. Hopefully you're liking this new addition and it's easier for you to hear me. And yeah, we'll continue to keep an eye on the Sussexes. Please continue to subscribe to the channel and support via super chats when you can. Like I said, no amount is too small. I'll post a poll for the next platform we can use. And guys, like I said, I will need you to please join it so that we can grow the channel on those platforms. Again, the aim is to talk to each other so that once a week we can have lives where people can talk properly to each other. What else? I think I said it all. Yeah, I'll continue to give you guys the tea as it comes, you trust. And yeah, I want to thank everybody for their support. I have almost 3,000 subscribers. Please help me get to 3,000, because that's crazy. I can't believe 3,000 people are subscribed to this channel. That's crazy. I thank you all for your continued support. I'm grateful to each and every one of you for always being here, contributing on the live, just showing up, I can't ask for more. I really, truly appreciate each and every one of you. I just ask you to please stay with me as we build out the community. I want more subscribers. My aim is to help rewrite the algorithm for Megan. When you come on Google and you type in Megan, I want people to see my channel and other squad channels too. Not just hate channels. And the only way we can do that, guys, is we need to trick the YouTube algorithm into thinking we're making a lot of money. Because a lot of this stuff is driven by ads. So every time we have a live, when you like it, when you subscribe, when you contribute, even if it's $1 super chat, it helps build popularity. So what I'm saying is it's not just to line up my pockets, it's to build up the algorithm. It's the same thing with TikTok. The reason why specific lives become popular is because people are liking those lives. They are contributing to those lives. So you're telling the algorithm, because the algorithms are based on money. So you're telling the algorithm that, oh, look, this live is popular, right? This account is popular. So please, please, please continue to support us content creators as we do this work. And yeah, I'm going to go now. So guys, it's been fun talking to you. I will catch you next time. And I will, yes, in terms of the lives, I will try and ensure we have at least 2 a week. I'll put the poll out. Once we agree the platform, we will have one live where we can talk to each other. And we will have this type of live where I give you guys the roundup of the week. But yeah, I need your support to get there. So please continue to like, subscribe, and share. Thank you for all your support. And I will see you next time. Hopefully next time we'll be talking to each other properly. Have a good one, guys. And thank you for all your support. See you next time. Bye.